I have spent an inordinate amount of time just dissecting the Fani Willis case. And I never thought I would be this moved by it, this fascinated by it. And just when I think, okay, I've done enough, I've pretty much gone through it, there's nothing more to say, I see another interpretation of this. Everything, everything, everything that started where we are now was the product of this arrogance of Fani Willis. Everything that we're doing right now, this could have been ended so quickly with as much stipulation as possible. Let's don't go to court. We will talk about this. Now it turns out she probably not only is facing bar complaints and election investigations where she got this cash from. It's this sense of I don't have to worry about anything. The money I get from my election, my campaign, and they're saying, wait, we didn't know about that. Go ahead, say that again. Oh yeah, the election for the what? You've got people here who were some of the. No, let me just make sure you understand something. Make sure you really grasp what I'm saying here. There are stupid people like Nathan Wade. He's just an idiot. He's an idiot. This poor guy, this man has been absolutely just dragged through the mud, through the muck, thrown under the bus. He is an impotent, non-prostatic cuckold, a boy toy, paid for, reimbursed by this powerful woman. He's in the middle of a divorce that's going to get worse than anything anybody has ever even imagined. He's looking at perjury, not just in terms of perhaps what he said maybe in this hearing, but on interrogatories that he filed pursuant to a pending divorce because he's still married and he's done with Fani. This is, pardon my French, the most expensive piece of ass anybody has ever had for reasons he is wondering why. What was I thinking or not thinking? He's through. He's a joke. And as far as the father goes, who from what people are saying, had a pretty important civil rights practice himself, this man basically confounded, conflicted, and basically upended her testimony. I'm listening to this again. I'm thinking that's another thing. It just unraveled. This is better than anything. If you just like stories, just intrigue, if you just like to see human endeavor, the collapse of human civilization, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. So please do me a favor, sit back. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like the video. You must like this. It's critical. You know how this works. Make sure you also are notified of new videos that are coming. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos and the like. And before we begin and continue, please listen with all of your heart and soul to our most, because remember, the word was COVID. Remember Mr. Floyd talking about COVID. Everybody's worried about COVID. What was it again? COVID. Yes. You remember that. Well, as if one pandemic wasn't enough, New York City's health commissioner has been waving the white flag. Biden's non-existent border policies are producing contagious diseases not seen in decades. The 2.5 million recorded migrant encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border alone in 2023 represent a new all-time high. And it's getting worse as we actively watch the escalating border standoff between Texas and the federal government. These illegal immigrants come from 160 countries, many, if not most, with terrible healthcare standards. This is driving a resurgence of rare diseases and bringing about new ones. That's where the wellness company's medical emergency kit comes in. This kit contains emergency antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics, 8 life-saving medications, including amoxicillin, Z-Pak, and others that since 2020 weren't even allowed to be talked about. Can you say ivermectin? All of this to keep on hand in case of emergencies, along with a guidebook detailing instructions for safe use. In a time when many Americans say they would avoid a doctor or hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation, the wellness company's medical emergency kit provides a solution. The wellness company is home to Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and truth-telling doctors who are rooted in their commitment to building a parallel healthcare system and empowering you to take control of your health. Be prepared for the unexpected. Go to twc.health/Lionel and grab your medical emergency kit right now. That's twc.health/Lionel. Use promo code Lionel and save 15% at checkout. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your health with the wellness company's medical emergency kit. And these kits are only available in the USA. I want you to grasp what is happening here. This is one of the most fascinating cases ever. President Donald Trump was, and I say was, being prosecuted in Georgia, in Fulton County, for racketeering. And this case, if successful, posed a very serious threat. Now, many people that I know, my friends who are just ardent Trump fans, they said, oh, come on, it's nonsense. Well, it may be nonsense, but the case withstood a couple of motions to dismiss, and it was going forward. It was going forward. And there was nothing really that Donald Trump had in terms of a defense, nothing really other than what was happening. I mean, this was, it was serious. And we never really knew what Fani Willis was all about. When she spoke, she seemed literate, competent, sober in terms of her steadfastness. Her legal acumen was fine. And then it happened. It happened with a veritable rogues gallery of some of the most stupid people that nobody even knew were there. No, I mean, they knew, but well, sort of, but not really. Not this much. This is the part I'm telling you, which is the most part. And I want you to understand and grasp this. Nobody knew this. Nobody knew this. It was just this. Well, let's get to the bottom of this. Hey, Fani, did you have any? Yes. Well, let's see if Mr. Wade's involvement in this thing has anything to do. Because at first, I don't know about you, but I was asking the question, what does it have to do? What difference does it make? I mean, so what? Let's assume, okay, fine. Let's assume that, she's doing the horizontal mambo with this guy, and that's it. I mean, big deal, right? Then you think that? Of course you did. Of course you did. You thought, so what? What's the big deal? What difference does it make? So what? And then later on, people said, no, this is important because this might actually affect President Trump's case. Now, I'm thinking to myself, and at first I thought, okay, but why does her involvement in something which may be unethical not unethical in terms of his case, but unethical in terms of um, just unethical. I mean, so what? If what if a prosecutor was alleged to be, let's say, stopping the receptionist? What does that have to do with Trump's case? Well, what if remember during the OJ case, Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden were supposedly, or supposedly, as people say. Don't you love that? Supposedly. What about that? Well, tell me right. And nobody really understood. It's like, and I didn't. I'm thinking, okay, fine. Maybe if you could say that she's unethical, maybe you could conflict of interest within the prosecution team. Now, if she were having sex with a member of the defense team, that would have been something. But it's like they thought, okay, let's go ahead and have this hearing. And many people, myself included, thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. And if it's a problem, well, you can remove Mr. Wade from the case or fire him from your office. I mean, what is this? How has the defendant and defendants been compromised? How? That's the thing. How does this affect? Now, by the way, before I forget, do we know if I'm going to put is Fani Willis a Soros prosecutor? Okay, let's see if this is. Let's see if this makes sense. Who is Fani Willis? I'm looking to see. I'm trying to see this Soros. Do we have any? By the way, you do know that there is nothing against the law for Soros to be doing this. I think it's extremely suspect. I'm looking. It may be hidden. If someone has any information that works for us, but I don't know if. Again, I don't even know what relevance that is. And when people say, "Well, Soros," I understand Soros. Soros puts them in. I want to be fair. So what? So what? I mean, you have to look at what they're saying. The reason why, for example, Alvin Bragg, he pled down what 60% or reduced what 60% of all felonies. It 62. Okay, 62%. It's not because he's a Soros person. It's because he did it. And you can say, "Oh no. That's one of the reasons why Alvin Bragg, the New York DA, who was charging Trump with his initial case, that's the reason why he's doing it, is because of the fact that he's a Soros beneficiary." My friends, remember, what may work for us, in the real world, they're going to say, well, so what? So what? What if a group of Republican ex-DAs were to put together a political action committee or contributed, there are, let's say, the Sheriff's Association, or let's say somebody got the endorsement from, this may always be difficult for you. Always be fair and always ask yourself, am I saying things just because everybody in my group says it? I say, well, he's a Soros prosecutor. Okay, what does that mean? I've had to tell people more things. Who's George Soros? Okay, all right. Now, let's move on. The issue is simply this, and it became at first. How does this compromise Donald Trump's case if these people are doing okay? As it started, this is the part that gets me. There is an expression in trial law that says never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. Well, that's true to an extent, and it's a pretty good rule too. But here is the one too. You've got to always ask or tell your witnesses, not coach them, not tell them to lie, but answer the question. You are under no duty to keep explaining. Your job is not to answer questions involving areas nobody asked you, but that you think somebody might find interesting. Hey, here's something you didn't ask. Do you want to know why? No, no, no. Another rule, too, when you're answering a question, remember, wait a second to allow your lawyer to object. Very simple. There's rules. There's just the simple rules. You normally would think, lawyers are kind of good witnesses, pretty good. These are the worst. I don't know who's worse. Wade didn't know anything. Did you ever go to a cabin with her? How many times have you ever had, let's face it, no recollection of where you've had sex with somebody that you've just that you're involved with or were involved with post marriage, whatever, and you're saying, did you ever go to a hotel in and he's thinking the way I'm trying to do like long division. He's thinking 15, 20 seconds, maybe more. It seemed forever. I've never seen anything like it. People who were like worried about the audio, they said, quick, say something. Are you listening right now to the judge's testimony of Fani Willis? And this is just Charles Hoare. This is Wade on the stand. You're still listening to, and they had to interrupt because people are saying, is something wrong with my radio? Something, what? Ladies and gentlemen, Alice Fava says, hola, as a woman, haha. I have to say that I have never been so entertained as I have been watching the Fani Willis proceeding, maybe traffic court trials. But how does this help the defense? The defense meaning Trump. Well, let's just get down to brass tacks. And you know what, Alice? If that's what you mean, and thank you, by the way, let's see what this means. Okay, I believe the following. The judge has to. By the way, the judge should have probably recused himself because they work together, and the judge has to avoid any appearance of impropriety. He really does. And the judge, I think, is good. He's being circumspect. If it were any other case, I think the judge is going to say, you know what? I'm going to let them say whatever they want because I already made an opinion or a decision. I'm going to disqualify this office. This is the second time this has happened. She charged somebody who eventually, I think right now is a current lieutenant governor or something. There is a current case that is right now that her office brought that she was disqualified currently. So this happens. That's one particular case. But you ask a question, how does this help Trump? How about this? The case gets, they take it away from Fani and it goes someplace else. And it goes to this prosecutor's council, the prosecutor's clearinghouse, this organization, I guess, in Georgia that determines upon, recusals, and it reassigns. And it can go to a new prosecutor. Could be a Democrat, could be a Republican. If it goes to a Democrat, the Democrat's going to say, this case is a piece of shite. I don't want to have anything to do with it and ruin my political career. Or a Democratic prosecutor may say, oh, I want this one. This is great. I love this. Possibly. Or it can go to a Republican who's going to say, I sure as hell don't want to have anything to do with prosecuting Donald Trump. I'm through. Or if he's less scrupulous, and I don't think this is going to happen, a Republican prosecutor could say, I could get the case and just not win. Just not win. Or I can drop the case. Or either way, it's great for Trump. And Fani Willis is like, not only you are in it, the guy that's I feel the sorry for is Bradley. Sort of. I don't know the story about the allegation of the sexual abuse in the office. I do not know about that. That's another story. That's tough. But bless his heart, Terrence Bradley. This poor guy looks like he's trying to pass a hockey puck stool. He looks there with a look on his face like this. Make this go away. What am I doing? Now everybody knows that I've lost, that I've been charged with sexual battery. I may have even signed an NDA. I don't know. Oh, did you hear this one, by the way? Did you hear this? And I forgot about this because and how Fani, by the way, decides not to testify. I'm not going to show up, or to show up and say I'm going to testify. Excuse me. You will testify when I say you can testify. This is the judge. And by the way, you're not going to discontinue your testimony until I excuse you. It's the weirdest thing. This guy is just they're so bamboozled by this woman. They're so afraid of her, apparently. Well, not for long. So he said, Mr. Bradley, he said, this woman that allegedly was molested or assaulted by you sexually, and I guess we're assuming it's a woman, whatever. But did you pay her $20,000? No. Did you pay this woman $20,000? No. Did she receive any payment or compensation for the allegation? Well, when I left the office, I left the money in my escrow account. I left the money in my escrow account. What? I left it. What do you mean you left it? I just didn't get it. That was my money. And trust accounts, escrow accounts, those are like, oh my God, those are kryptonite. Kryptonite. Oh my God. Oh my God. So woman, what? Yeah, I had money left over, so I don't know what happened to it. So was she paid from that? In essence, he would say, yeah. They paid her from money that was in my escrow, which is the worst way. It's like, wait a minute, what is that? You can't commingle funds. How did you do that? Now the law office has to have an audit where they're going to say, how did you pay this? Wait a minute. So that's another thing, another landmine that they created and stepped on. Now Wade is thinking, oh, shit, I can't believe this. Now you just said no. Now you said yes. You lied in front of the judge within 30 seconds because he's an idiot and he doesn't know. And one day he was late. Remember that he was late because he had to go to a doctor. I've never seen anything like this. The judge is a wimp. The judge would have said, you better bring that doctor here. And you better explain to me how this was. You were in an emergency room and that there were life-threatening procedures because for you not to be in court, all of a sudden just show up to a doctor and just not. I've never seen anything like it. They just don't show up. Fani Willis, I'm not going to testify. Screw with that. And then the opposite. Oh, I'm going to testify. Excuse me, why are you testifying? I want to clear something up. How do you know what's been said? We invoked the sequestration rule. How did you know what was said? Did anybody tell you? Well, no. The Fulton County court, the court looks like, I mean, this is like my cousin Eddie. Actually, my cousin Eddie makes more sense than this. It's the strangest thing. So this guy takes a stand. So now he says, oh, sure. Now they know that I've been charged with sexual battery. Okay, that might have been taken care of. And why this Anna Cross is bringing him up, I have no. Why are they doing this? Why is this even necessary? He was kind of sort of helping you out. I would imagine you're trying to help Fanny out, Mary, and he theoretically was both Wade's law partner and divorce lawyer, who now is claiming, well, I can't talk about this because this is privileged. He's trying within every inch of his being, not to testify, to throw Wade under the bus. By the way, that bus he's got tire marks on him permanently from the bus and multiple buses that ran over him and then backed up and went over him and backed up. So we have Wade. Wade is a divorcee, worst lawyer. I don't even know. Didn't know anything about racketeering or whatever it was. Then he's looking at about $600,000 that he made by, I guess, stooping Fanny, who then dumped him, or they broke up, whatever it is. And the world knows that he's got prostate problems and virility problems or whatever the hell this. I mean, anything else. And he's going through divorce. And he goes, and when he takes his date out he pays, for the trip to Aruba or this and that, she pays him back in cash. What kind of man does that? You ever wondered about that? It's like, no, you're not going to pay me back. No, I'm going to pay you back. Pay me back? What is this? What am I, a sex worker? So this guy it's just incredible. He can't function. He can't, and then get out of here. And the best part too, this is the one, these stories, again, all of this, nobody had to know. It was volunteered. It just came out. All they had to do was say, at first, let's keep this out of court. What do you want to know? Would you like me to? Let's have a very simple, let's pare down these issues. Let's make sure we only handle the issues that are really important, really critical. Let's not go into other stuff that matters. You got it? No. Because numbnuts, Fanny, oh no, she's going to know. I'm going to explain this to you. Oh no, the head and the whole bit. Oh no. You're lying. You're lying here. And I implicate this interesting phrase, which is technically right. I implicate the lack of sagacity and perspicacity and the contumacity and the audacity and the whatever rhymes with acid. I mean, come on, stop it. This fame, how dare you? I'm not on trial. Oh, yes, you are. This is a conflict of interest. It might be a collateral issue, but you're there. Do you know what you're seeing? I've never seen anything like this. None of us have. This is Ricky Lake, Maury, Jerry Springer, and People's Court or something thrown in together. It is unbelievable. Let me take a break. Let me catch my breath right now and listen to this very important word from our sponsor. Let's talk about a very serious subject, emergency food. That's right, emergency food. I know. At first blush, it's difficult for most people to think about something that they just take for granted, ever reaching emergency status. We're used to stores always being open, deliveries always made, no supply chain disasters, no ransomware catastrophes, none of that stuff. Nothing shutting down our gas stations, right? No trucking strikes, no war, no protests from farmers, nothing catastrophic in terms of weather. Nope, that can't happen to us. And I understand it's a defense mechanism that we have, because the idea of ever not being able to eat or locate food is seemingly incomprehensible. Well, it's not. That's why it's time for you to go to my site, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com has the deal of deals for you. I'll take it as a starter set. You've been putting off emergency food for too long. Some people still have a thing about prepping as though preparing for emergency is foolish. Now, right now, you can save $60 on a 4-week emergency supply kit. This is unbelievable. 16 varieties with a 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day in 2 beautifully modular buckets that weigh 38 pounds total. These are waterproof and they're perfectly stackable. 4 weeks, a month. Now, be honest, could you go a week without any trips to any store? I'm not talking about having stuff in your cabinet. I'm not talking about banana chips and jerky. I mean food, real food. So go right now to preparewithlionel.com, right now, right this moment, preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. You'll thank me, trust me. I can't imagine, and I think I told you this before, what I would have wanted more than anything that anybody could. If there's one thing, it would have been Fani Willis. Actually, I don't know if she tries cases herself, but to have Fani Willis cross-examine Donald Trump, it would have been the greatest media or TV or whatever you want to call it. It would have been something that we cannot even explain. And let me just say this again. I've never seen such nincompoops like this. What about the father, Floyd? Well, when she went to her love shack with this guy, who I didn't even know she had a boyfriend until 6 or 7 weeks ago. What? You didn't know this? She kept it quiet from you? Yeah. Oh. Why would you keep something quiet that was done in the total up and up with your father when you knew other name? But interesting. Whatever. Interesting. What are you going to do? But she was at her home and we had people show up, at her home. They figured out where she lived, screaming the B word, the N word, and the C word, and the D word, and whatever word. Every kind of word you can imagine, they were screaming it out. So she couldn't live there. She was absolutely terrified, as I think most of us would be. Well, what did you do? Did they have a security contingent? No, she went and lived, I guess, someplace else. And I moved in to keep an eye on it. You did? Yeah. What are you, in your 70s? Yeah, I guess. And you're a frail man. Yes, I was afraid of COVID. There was no COVID then, yes, but I knew there would be COVID because I was traveling around the world and a man of the world. And I knew this, so I kind of wanted to stay tight. I didn't want to go out. But I wanted to stay in her home. Your daughter let you stay at home? Yes. You've got marauding bands of rapacious rapscallions looking for her scalp. You're there, an elderly man by yourself, worried about COVID. What if they unleashed COVID, empty, like dirty masks before there was a COVID? Interesting. Because they're time bandits. They're time travelers. They're from the future, but in the past. So she let you stay there? She wasn't worried about you? No, she didn't say, Daddy, you're not going to stay at this place. If I'm afraid, you're not. And I'm the DA. And it makes no sense. None of it, because it's all bullshit. They just make it up, and they're just used to just saying stuff in their life. Have you met people like this? Oh, I know a few. I know one in particular. When this person actually a number of them, they just say things. I know one friend who is into fantasy. She's just she just makes stuff up. It just doesn't occur. I don't even know why she's saying it. She's lying for no particular reason. And by the way, these aren't otherwise crazy people. These are seemingly rational people. I know another person who you never know what they forget the lies because the lies are forgotten, and then later on they. But Fani Willis says, first of all, has this idea that I'm smarter than you, I'm sharper than you, I'm entitled. How dare you? How dare you even think about asking me questions? Do you know who I am? I'm Fani Willis. And when she said, where does cash come from? Oh, I don't know. Went to my campaign account, took it out. You what? Yeah. That's another one. Okay, we've got the trust account. That's one. That's for Terrence over there. Then you got this one. Then you got Wade. He's walking around. He's been humiliated, impotent, completely, emasculated, orchiectomied with a wife who, by the way, cuckolded him, put the horns on him. He's a cornuto from 2015 or something. I mean, this guy is just, and he's a proud man. He wears his three-piece suits, very nice, very, very nicely tailored. He's a person who cares about the way he looks, the way he acts, and he's a. Can you imagine what this would be like if they were Republicans? What Saturday Night Live would do? Can you imagine the black comedy actresses standing in the cold in line to get a chance at being the actress who portrays Fanny? This writes itself. You could just take her script. Just take it with the apparently inverted dress, which is the strangest thing. But anyway, I digress. Having these Wade doing these long things. Did you have did you ever shack up in the mountains in the cabin Did you see somebody did one? I copied it on my Twitter account at Lionel Media. It wasn't mine. I just retweeted it, and it's as he's thinking. Somebody played Marvin Gaye, "Let's Get It On." I'm just thinking about you, baby. Let's get it on. And he's just thinking of Fanny as he's thinking in this long, unedited pause. I've never seen somebody look up and pause and I can't believe what I'm seeing. Let me say this again, to the point of reiteration, to the point of absolute exhausting you in the subject matter. I'm sorry, I love this. We could talk about Navalny. Want to do that? No. Have you ever heard of more people who? And by the way, I'm not mocking the death of this man. I don't. A couple of days ago, nobody knew who the hell he was. Nobody. And by the way, just so that you know, I'll talk about Navalny when they talk about Gonzalo Lira. Is that a deal? I'll talk about that. We'll get to the bottom of that. I will demand that when we get to the issue of Gonzalo Lira. Nobody talks about that one. Isn't that something? But for some reason, that just doesn't. This is the one that gets me. This case. I never thought it would. It just blew up. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. How does this happen? How? It's just I don't even. I've talked to so many friends of mine, lawyers, and the first line is, "Can you believe this?" Seriously, there were some. Listen, we've all seen some. We always had some kind of dumbasses, somebody who just did not get it. Really, really incompetent people. I mean, they were somehow filtered from the problem of this. Filtered. Now, I guess, by the way, the final or they'll do arguments coming up, and imagine what Sidney Powell's going to think. Why'd I plead? Why? I pled to a misdemeanor. This thing is going to go. This is a piece of crap. It's the best news happening for Trump. It's the best news. Finally, something goes his way. Finally, there is a God. Finally. I don't know what to do about this Engoron case. this judge, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I have no. It is a law that is in the state of New York, which the judge ostensibly applied. It might be unfair, it might be ridiculous, but he applied it. God knows there have been stupid laws in the state of New York and elsewhere throughout history. We had a cabaret license law where you couldn't, if you were standing in a bar and you were like swaying to music, you or the bar owner could be fined or whatever, arrested because this was dancing. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. And then they just pretty much did away with it. But there was a time when this law still remained in effect. And we don't know why. It just was. And if you were to be found guilty of violating the cabaret law rules, there was nothing anybody could do. They could say, oh, this is stupid. Well, then repeal the law. Repeal the law. There's a part of me that Joe sits back and just says, please, let's go to the next. Please. Oh. I mean, before I forget, I was watching. This is the beauty of YouTube. They throw these rotation things. I was watching somebody, I think it was MSNBC, and these two women, I don't know if they were, one was the presenter or commentator, the other one was, I think, a lawyer maybe, and they were going out of their way to speak on behalf. Let me give you an example. Tell me something. Let's say I hired you, okay? And I want you to go on MSDNC, and I want you to just say that what Fani did, what Fani Willis does, is brilliant. What would you say? I want to commend that young lady for showing a fortitude, not backing down, but standing up for what's right. A woman who realizes that she has the full force of white nationalist, white supremacist MAGA against her. She's standing up a bunch of the good old boy network, right? The good old boy, because she's a proud black woman. That's right. I'm going to play the race card. Her old man did. You know how black folks are? They keep cash. See, white folks don't understand this. Black folks keep cash. By the way, I've asked every black friend I know, said, do you have cash on you? What? Do you have 2 months worth of cash? Cash. Not a reserve, not money. Do you have cash in your house? Hidden? I understand that's a black thing. Is it true? Is that a black thing? I know John McGuire does. John McGuire couldn't get hired, says, regarding Trump's valuation suit, would it not be advisable that all individuals obtain court approval prior to submitting any loan application, both personal and commercial? It doesn't matter. And thank you, John. It doesn't matter because in that particular case, the banks, in this case, nobody complained. What was that again? Nobody complained. What? Nobody complained. Quinn Smith said a hoard. Did you heard when she didn't know what hoarding was? She said, oh, I thought you said hoard. What is that? Hoarding? Oh, hoarding? Oh, I thought you said something else. She didn't know I don't even think she knew what a continent was. Remember they asked her, what did you? She said, I went to Belize. Did you, anybody in this continent? I'm sorry, I don't know what a continent is. I don't know what continent Belize is. I don't know about the continent. This is what we're talking about here. This is, and then there's Nathan Wade. Do that next time you go through a Wendy's drive-in. Thank you for calling Wendy's. Can I take your order? Is this Nathan Wade? Yes, I'm thinking. Huh. And there's old Terrence. Terrence was the best. This is the best one. Now, did you pay this woman? No, I did not. Is it true? Did you have Mr. Bradley? Did you have an occasion to be accused of sexual? No, I did not. You say I most certainly did not. You're saying nobody accused you? Oh, yes, they did. Wait a minute. So were you accused of this? Absolutely not. No one accused you? Oh yes. Did you pay, did you settle this for $20,000? I did not. I did not. But I did find I did leave some money with the old firm, and it might have made its way to her. Wouldn't that be you paying the money? Certainly. But you just said no. I absolutely did not. I had a friend years ago. Well, not really a friend, but he was an Irish bartender. And he was one of the weird he never really listened. And his reactions were strange. Like he would say, hi, Desmond. Very well, thank you. What? He never would listen. He would like, no, I didn't say how. Oh, whatever. So anyway, he says, the other day I saw your man, Sadat Hussein. I said, no, it's not Sadat. You mean Saddam Hussein. Sadat. No, you mean Anwar Sadat. Sure. What? Yeah. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, what? Yes, Saddam or you? Sure. No, you're doing it. What? Huh? He said, I saw your man on television, Karl Rove. I said, no, Karl Rove. Sure. No, wait a minute. Are you saying yes to Rove? Yeah. Wait a minute. Are you saying, confuse the hell out of me? That's these people. Alice Fava. God bless you, Alice. Thank you, dear heart. I would love to put together the school of obfuscation. I think Fani Willis, what would be the question if you sat down with her? What's the first question you'd ask her? Fanny, question we got to know. Mrs. Al and I were watching a show last night about Dior. And we were there's a show on Apple about is it Apple? It's by Christian Dior during the war on Coco Chanel. These are all Nazis. Well, these stories are incredible. So anyway, so talking about the fashion world, the fashionistas. And the first question I love to ask Fanny is, was this backwards? Did you have that all backwards? Have you ever heard honey of a zipper in the front? I mean, a little. Well, look at it. It's weird. Wouldn't you? I'm sorry, but wouldn't the bosom part of it not fit right? If or maybe no. I mean, if you put the back in the front, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. John McGuire couldn't get higher. Said agreed. The banks didn't file suit. The state did. The only way for any company to avoid this in the future would be for them to obtain state court approval prior. Oh my God! It's almost prior restraint, literally and actually. But the thing is that they're claiming that he might have used this to inflate his net worth in order to, you know what I mean? So it's done all the time. But the only thing, now, did you hear what the truck drivers are doing? Truck drivers, some or a good portion of them, are talking about not delivering in New York City or not in New York because of what was going on involving President Trump. I don't know how far that's going to go. I don't think that's a good idea. I would think that President Trump would say, no, don't do that. Don't make people suffer on my account, but I appreciate the effort on that part. You do know that around the world, as you know, there are farmers and there are truck drivers and people and who are going through a variety of protests and the like that we hear nothing about at all here. Now let's go back to this. What's going to happen to the case? Judge McAfee is going to rule that there's a conflict. He cannot possibly. It is so effed up. And I think you know what that F word, I think you know what I mean. It is so royally effed up like you cannot believe, nuclear effed up, and we're talking effed up, that there's no way he could say, you know what? I don't think any of these claims or allegations or concerns of anybody's, but let's just move along. Don't worry about them. Not in the least. You know it and I know it, my friends. Come on, for the love of God. You know it, and I know it. You know it. It's just, there's no way. And what do you think Fanny's going to say? Another proud black woman. Another proud black woman who just tried to get ahead, just tried to make a difference up against, white nationalists or whatever it is. What about Wade? These were ancillary folks. This happens all the time. There's no reason for this. There was nothing, and she might have a point. There was nothing that she did. She might be concupiscent. She might be randy. She might be a bit dissolute in her morality. But how did the president's criminal or his rise as a criminal defendant? How did they in any way, how were they compromised by this? This is going to cost the great people of Georgia more money. Well, it's your fault. This is a complete and total waste of time. And this goes to show you the arrogance of power. But the funny part is when Jack Smith and others are going after Trump, nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. So I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm loving this. And it's not because it's Trump. It's because this is an arrogant, incompetent, borderline psychopath. This is a woman who shows no reactions, no ability to grasp she has no appreciation for consequence. This is classic. Have you seen that YouTube channel where this Indian doctor, I think she talks about narcissism? That's it. Every YouTube, every single one. Well, a narcissist is not to be confused with anyone. How many times did you talk about? She does very well. It's a very popular channel. She's got like 9,000 videos on narcissism. It's the same thing. I don't understand it. Well, I don't think she's a narcissist. I think she's like a psychopath. She's glib. She has absolutely no morality in what she says. Nothing. It means nothing. What she says, she will look at you and lie to you. And just like, well, I've got cash all the time. You do not? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, Daddy, now when you go up there, you're going to make up this bullshit story about black folks having all kinds of cash. What? You're going to go in there and tell people it's a black thing, having cash, and tell them that story about when you were at the restaurant. Remember that one? What? The story you told me, how it changed your life. You were at a restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts, because you were at Harvard for reasons we don't know. And the bill came to $9.75. It was just under $10. And you pulled out an American Express for a $10 bill. That's fine. And they wouldn't take it because ostensibly you're black and they're racist and they hate everybody. And then you tried to use your Visa card and they said, no, they don't want that too because they're black and they're racist and hate everybody. And then you had traveler's checks. You were going to write a traveler's check for $10 and they didn't want to take that either. So thank God you had a $10 bill and you never forgot that. Remember that story? No. Well, make it up. What do you mean? Just make it up and make up the story. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter, Daddy. It doesn't matter what happens. We make things up. We're Willises. We just say whatever we want. Give me a story. Tell them how I left, how you came in and stayed at my house, and I left supposedly because I've got MS-13 and the mob after me. Not this was before the Trump indictment was charged. How I had to leave, and I sublet this condo without there being any talk about a security contingent. Can you imagine if you're a really high-powered, politician, and your life is being threatened, and you want to go to some condo that where is the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation? Where is the state police? Is this? No, we'll take care of this. You're not going, no. We're not going to have our prosecutors pay out of pocket to move so that they won't be killed by people threatening their lives. And they're sure as hell not going to live with their married boyfriend. And they're not going to leave their old man, their enfeebled, COVID-fearing, though COVID wasn't here yet, but he knew He knew it was coming. He knew it. He's Vatic. He's Pythonic. He can read the entrails of the beast. He can augur the future. One lie after another. They look you right in the eye and they lie. That's a psychopath. That's somebody who says, I can look you right now. It means nothing to me. I don't care if you think it's far-fetched or not. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say whatever I want because I'm Fani Willis and you're not. Remember when they kept saying, well, where'd you lay your head? That was my favorite. I love that. Lay your head. Lay your head upon my pillow. Remember that? For the good times. Lay your arms in the and the morning and the rain and love me one more time for the good times. It was Christopherson, wasn't it? It was Ray Price for sure. Put your head in your pillow. And what kind of pillow? Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers. My slippers. That's right. Slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. How many people in the state of Georgia do you think are moving to impeach Fani Willis? None. How many people are going to be lining up to run against her for that position, Fulton County DA? Oh, how many bar complaints have been made by virtue of what they've seen? I bet you every one of those lawyers have. She's in a world. What you talking about, Willis? She's in a world of hurt. Too many lies, too much stuff, too much. Tiffany Henyard, though, is still the best. We don't get to hit. Thank God. Tiffany's thinking, thank God nobody's talking about me because she is the best. It makes you wonder, does it not? How may again. We always love lying. And sometimes, as you know, my friends, you've done this. Who here is not a liar? You've lied. You lie all the time. It's called embellishment. It's called exaggeration. It's called, laying it on thick. Bullshit. Hey, these bullshit. Lie. Stretch the truth. A little prevarication. A little, you know what I mean. You've lied to make people feel better. You've always lying, don't forget, is the misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. Confabulation, right? Confab. You've actually constricted confabulation. Prevarication is another great one. You've ever told your kids there's a Santa Claus? You're a liar. You are a liar. People lie all the time. They lie about religion. They lie about politics. They lie about health. They lie about vitamins. Turn on any radio show and they'll lie all day long. I get all the fruits and vegetables I need all day by taking this little pill. What? That's right. All the phytonutrient bioavailability in this one. I get 75 vegetables in this. Well, you do not. Yes, I do. So shut up, buddy. I get it there and I look great. How about this? People who go, they get all the plastic surgery done. I swear to you, there is a place Mrs. Ellen and I go to every now and then. They look like these dames look like they've been like through 4 or 5 rounds with Tyson. Their lips and I mean, it's the weirdest thing anybody's ever seen. It's incredible. It's a lie. We lie. Everybody lies. Everybody. But this in court. And here's the best part. They don't care. You see, Fani Willis, she doesn't care about that. Remember Leona Helmsley years ago? She goes, taxes, those are for the little people. Telling the truth, you don't understand. I'm Fani Willis. I am somebody. I'm better than you. I got my boyfriend. I even paid him back. Does anybody here think she paid him in cash? I mean, maybe afterwards, after she had to. But is this the way you do it? Men, have you ever been on a date or anybody where a woman says, how much did I owe you? Huh? That thing we went through, how much I owe you? For the plane fare and the, how much? How much? Plane fare? Yes, cash. You take hundreds? I don't have 50s. This is as small as I got. Hundreds? Okay, we got that. There we go. That's for plane fare. Meals, I don't know what. 700 over the whole, but yes. There's that. Wear and tear, parking, tipping the bill. Who's ever done this? And by the way, I want to ask you something. Is it a Mr. Floyd, is it a black thing for women to pay black men after they've been on a date? Are you telling me this? Can we take a poll on this? How many black women ladies, have you ever paid anybody back? Have you ever paid? Honey, have you ever heard about that? How much owe you? Here you go. Cash. I got it. I got a vault full of it. I got more. Why? Because my father had a $10 bill and came. I don't even know the story. He told me the story. It's ridiculous. Look at Fani Willis. Does this look like somebody who wants to pay? Stop it. This poor emasculated man. His tallywhacker doesn't work, right? He's been cuckolded by his wife. He's about to get hosed. And this woman he's having an affair with, who basically dumped him, paid him back. Paid for him. Like he's a kept man. Lori Cuck says, Tiffany's in Illinois and we're paying attention to her. Oh, Tiffany Henyard, my favorite, in Dalton, Illinois. She's the best. Lori, she is the best. $300K a year. We'll talk about Hillary. I mean, Tiffany. About Hillary, too. All right, dear friends, let me ask you something. Have you had a great time? Have I been able to bring you love? Tell me. Do you feel the love? Do you feel the excitement? Isn't this fun? Huh? Hasn't this been fun? Don't you want to say, wow? Wow. Mrs. Ellen and I had a harrowing experience today. May I share it with you? We went to our Costco. Oh my God. I cannot believe that. And even then, as I'm listening to Fani, her testimony in my headphones, even in the middle of Costco. What's the matter, honey? Oh, Mrs. L's going nuts over Fani. I'm addicted. I'll bet you anything. I would love to do a podcast with her. Can you imagine? She is going to be the hottest thing because we're so screwed up in this country. Fame and infamy don't mean anything. And the father, he could do endorsements for safes and, hi, this is John Floyd. As we know, it's a black thing. When you got about 10, 15, he opens up his safe. Imagine having just stacks of $100 bills. This is where I keep mine. This is where I keep my safe. This is an Acme safe. This is the best. Top of the line. You tell them John Floyd sent you. Tell them Fanny sent you. Just think Monday. Fanny, yeah, it's the Elections Commission. They want to talk to you about how you took money from your campaign. Yeah. Oh, and the Bar Association on line 2. And Mr. Wade, yeah, it's about you and this poor guy. I love this. I don't mind telling you this. I love this. There's no story better than this. I'm sorry. I know you want to talk about Navalny. I know you do. And I'm sorry. I apologize for this. I don't want to talk about that. Not until they talk about Gonzalo Lira. You got that right? Okay. All right, dear friend. So listen, first things first. You got to sign up for Mrs. L's website or her YouTube channel, her YouTube channel right here. Lynn's Warriors. Do it. She's got some of the best. Oh, is your Wambui piece up? 40. You've got to see her interview with the wonderful, wonderful woman whose name is Wambui. She's great. It's Swahili, isn't it? Or it's adopted. The most. Just go see this. Go to Lynn's Warriors and watch this. It's fantastic. She also talks to a former. We have the prosecutor. Okay. Kevin Metcalf, former federal agent and prosecutor, talking about the border. It's the most incredible thing. So make sure you do this. Kristen Cobo, mom in New Jersey. She talks about that. This poor woman who merely wanted to prevent her kids, right, from having this disgusting, these library books. Watch this. You will not believe the bevy, the coterie, the passel of incredible witnesses, guests on Mrs. L's web or her YouTube channel. And also, don't forget Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, on a Twitter. I'm getting these names all wrong. I'm a little tired. Listen, I've been talking about Fanny for so long. I'm kind of losing my mind here. And there's not much to lose. Anyway, this is her Twitter channel. All right, dear friends, thank you tonight. Lori Cuck, thank you. John McGuire, couldn't get higher. Thank you so much. Alice Fava, you are the reason God made Oklahoma, and I thank you so much, and I mean that sincerely. All right, dear friends, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Kicking up more. Listen, we're going to enjoy I'm going to take this Fanny thing until it's over. Tomorrow's President's Day, and you know what that means, don't you? Absolutely nothing, because nobody cares about it. Nobody cares. For reasons I will never know. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for your insight and your perspicacity. See you tomorrow, and don't forget these words. This valedictory, this sayonara, this end of, well, this denouement, so to speak, this adios. Remember this. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.